I'm Andrew, and welcome to the Neon Knitter. So, this is, I want to say episode 21 of the Neon Knitter podcast. I forgot to look before filming this, so if I'm wrong, I will put the correct episode number on the screen, but I'm pretty sure it is episode 21 or 22. Okay, first, before we get started on the stuff, I have a whip and a finished object to show you. Um, Getting pretty excited. It's a sewing finish object, so look forward to that. Um, I want to address the elephant in the room, my yarn stash. I am all moved into my new college program. I'm super excited. And so this is my brand new yarn shelf. If you guys are a returning viewer, you will know that I got this yarn shelf when Three Kittens Needle Arts closed their yarn department to expand their needlework department because it was more profitable for them to have needlework and they needed different shelving. So you guys will know that I got an IKEA Kallax unit for half of what it originally cost at the store. And it's got their custom yarn organizers that they had custom made for them. That Three Kittens had custom made. And I only have 4 of them because there's 8 cubbies in this shelf. And so I staggered them 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't see the bottom shelf, I don't think, but yeah, I didn't even bring all my yarn. This is just a fraction of it. I brought most of it to have a backdrop to do my videos, honestly, but yeah, so that is a thing. So yeah, and you will also notice I am not wearing anything I've made. That is because this happened to be what I was wearing today, and I don't have a finished object to show off. I thought about throwing knitwear on quick, but I'm filming this video in between classes because all my other roommates have classes right now and I don't. So I have a class in an hour, so I thought I would film this now while the apartment is empty because there's 3 other people living in the apartment with me. And I got the double bedroom that I share with someone else, and my other 2 roommates got the single bedrooms. So, yeah, I just want to let you know I'm all moved into college. Super exciting. And yeah, so I'm first going to talk about my whip, and then I will talk about my finished object. I know that's reverse from what I usually do, but yeah. First, I'm going to show you my whip. Um, Now, this is the Triangolo shirt. I'm blanking on the designer's name right now, but this is a very special project to me, and I'll explain why. First, I just want to show you the details. I'm still doing the yoke. Um, if I can hold it up properly to show y'all, maybe you can see. Um, I'll pop a photo on the screen from the pattern, and that should hopefully show it off better. But let me see. I don't know how well you can see that there's triangles on the yoke, and they increasingly get bigger. I'm on the last row of triangles. So, and then I think there's like some size specific increasing, and then there's plain stockinette body after you split for the sleeves. Oh, that's why it's hard to show you. It's inside out. That'll do it every time. Um, they might still be a little tricky to see, but sorry, I just noticed because I sew buttons into the back of all my sweaters so I can tell the back from the front. It's kind of in lieu of a tag, and so I just saw the button and I was like, oh, it's inside out. Um, but yeah, okay, there we go. Now we can see the triangles. Yeah, so it's got these triangles, and again, like I mentioned, I'm on my last row of triangles. And in between each round of triangles, you do increasing. But it's the same for all the sizes, so the yoke doesn't look wonky, and then you do your size-specific increasing, the size-specific increasing after you're done with the last round of triangles. I'm going to go over yarn, and then I'm going to tell you why this is a special project to me. And I will put the designer's name on the screen, because I do not remember her name. But I am using Patton Silk Bamboo in the colorway Rouge. It is a DK weight, 70% viscose from bamboo and 30% silk. So, yeah, pretty excited about that. It's nice yarn. I don't remember where I ordered it from, but I bought it online. I have 10 skeins of it. They're 102 yards each. But yeah, so I have just enough to make my top. But yeah, I'm really excited with how this is going. I did go up one needle size. It called for a 7. I got gauge on an 8. So yeah. So why is this project so special to me? So the Triangolo top, it's a free pattern on Ravelry. But you will notice the pattern is only offered in German. I don't speak German. So I messaged on one of the Facebook groups I'm on. I'm part of the Knitters Gonna Knit Facebook group hosted by Irina Shar from Fiber Chats. She's one of the admins of the group. And I'm in that Facebook group, and I just casually posted a message on there saying, hey, does anybody know how to translate a pattern from German to English? It's a free pattern. I really want to make this. I didn't find anything else I like better for this yarn. Does anybody know how to translate this? And nobody in the group knew how to translate it, but someone in the group has a friend that knows how to translate it, and so he forwarded my message to her, and she was willing to do it free of charge for me. So last December, and well, it was right around New Year's, so December, January, she very kindly translated the pattern to English for me. And so, yeah. I don't remember her name. Well, her name is Monica. I don't remember her last name because it's some German last name. But on my Instagram and Facebook posts about this, I have her Facebook profile linked. And on my Ravelry project page, I have her Ravelry profile linked. So just pop over to those socials, and I will also have her name on the screen because I really am grateful that she did this for me, and I want to give her credit for translating this to English for me because this project would not be possible without her. So yeah, I just really, really like this top, and yeah, grateful it was a free pattern. But yeah, so I think that that is turning out really well, and that's why it's special to me because somebody very kindly translated the pattern for me. So that is my whip that I brought with me to college. My other whip that I brought with me is the Granny Square tank top that I am working on that I showed in my last episode. But I'm not going to show you right now because I haven't made any progress on it, but I brought it because it's a nice simple thing to work on. So, yes. So, now I am going to show you my sewing finish object because I am super proud of it. This is the only finished object I have in this episode. I finally got around to sewing my dream knitting bag. The pattern will be linked in the description box down below. But this is my new knitting bag, and I sewed this mostly by myself. Sorry, I have my college ID stuck to it because, yeah, see, there's my college ID. I'm a college student, yay. But that is my ID. They want it on our person at all times, so I just have it visible because it's supposed to be visible. Um, but this is a messenger bag pattern that was, it was a free messenger bag pattern on applegreencottage.com. And this took me weeks to make. I'll show you the details on it in a second, but I used the sewing machine at the George Latimer Central Library in downtown St. Paul, Minnesota. And then when I got super desperate because I was running out of time before college, George Latimer only lets you have one appointment a week with the sewing machine. In Eagan, Minnesota, there's the Westcott Library through Dakota County Library. They let you book as many appointments as you want per week with their machine. So I started doing that, and one night they even had sewing mentors there to help me with my project, which was great because I've only been sewing for like 2 months. So, yeah. So I had support the whole way through with this project, and that was real great. So, yeah, so this is the messenger bag pattern from Applegreen Cottage. It's a free pattern. I'll link it down below. I didn't do the shoulder strap that the pattern called for. I used a leather shoulder strap and I attached it with D-rings. The leather shoulder strap is from Michaels. I used the whole strap because the mentor I was working with at the Westcott Library in Eagan suggested I do that. I personally don't like it, so I am going to, next time I'm at the library, George Latimer in downtown St. Paul, which will be next week Wednesday for Craft Circle, I will cut this shorter and use their leather hole punch, which is how I got the holes in this in the first place, to shorten it and have a hole for the rivet, because these rivets just unscrew, so it's not like I have to use a whole new rivet. They just unscrew, so it's super helpful. And the D-rings unscrew also. And there is also bag feet on the bottom. And the bag feet are stuck into a piece of plastic canvas. And then I put a wood board in the bottom to make the bottom stiff. I'll talk about fabric at the end, but I did also have a magnetic snap, which I do really love. And then I did put in a spot for my apartment keys, because that's super important. One's for the knob and one's for the deadbolt on the main apartment door. And then I did also make a matching Notions bag for my knitting tools. Now, I did this before I did the rest of the bag because this was easy. It's a little bit wonky because, again, I'm a brand new sewer, but that just gives it character and I love it. So, I also lined that as well. Got all my knitting tools in there. And also my glasses cleaning rag. But yeah. So, this lined pocket is super nice. And the pattern didn't say to put a zipper on the lined pocket. And also I think I made the lined pocket a little bigger than the pattern said to. I do also still have a few threads to snip on it. But I just finished this on, I just finished this project on Saturday. And I moved in on Sunday. And today's Tuesday, so yeah. But I added a zipper to the pocket because if the zipper fails on my tool bag, then I won't have my knitting tools everywhere. But yeah, I'm just so happy I thought to put a spot for my apartment keys. It's so helpful. It's been really useful because I can just unclip it, unlock the door or lock the door, and then clip it right back on. So, yeah. So, the fabric. My lining fabric is from the George Latimer Library. It is fabric that they had. They had like a huge 3-yard piece of it. And so they let me have it. So I was able to line my bag without having to go purchase lining fabric, which saved me a ton of money. Um, my exterior fabric, um, I thrifted. You guys might remember a few videos ago, I did a tour of the stashery at the Textile Center in Minneapolis. That's where I got my exterior fabric. I bought it after I filmed that video, so when I filmed the video, that was my very first time going. But yeah, I thrifted it for like $5. It was like a yard and a half piece that somebody donated to them. It had a few weird shapes cut out of it from the previous person who was using the fabric, but yeah, so that's my exterior fabric. And then the zebra fabric. Um, Not everybody knows who this is, but some people might know who Charlie Harper was. Um, but this is a Charlie Harper fabric. It's called Serengeti Spaghetti. All the Charlie Harper fabrics are done by Birch Fabrics, and I did have to order this online. It was $9.50 for a half yard, so Charlie Harper fabric, not cheap. But I love it. And here's how the inside of the flap looks. Sorry, it's upside down because I'm not going to, well, here. That's the inside of the flap. And Charlie Harper was an artist who did wildlife screen printing. And so Birch Fabrics decided to make fabric out of a bunch of his artworks. And so they're all different animals and nature. There's a really cool maple leaf one I want to get at some point that one of my local fabric shops has. But yeah, it's really wonderful art that he's done, and the fabrics are super expensive, but totally worth it. So I got a half yard and I made my flap as well as my notions bag. So yeah, so this is super wonderful, and the only thing left to do is shorten the shoulder strap, and then it will be perfect, because right now it goes down to my knees when I have it over my shoulder. So I need it shortened. And that's when I have it crossbody. So, yeah. So next time I have access to a leather hole punch, I will shorten this. But yeah, so that I'm super duper proud of. And I'm proud that I got it done in time for college so that I would have a spot for my apartment keys. So, yeah, my mom did help me sew up the little seam on the bottom of my lining where I had I had a little hole in the bottom of my I had a little hole in the bottom of my lining so I could flip the pieces the right way after sewing it, because it has to be inside out when you sew it so that the raw edges aren't showing. I learned that the hard way. Friday night, my mom helped me seam rip. So I had my final appointment at the Westcott Library booked on Friday so that I could finish up the bag, and then my mom could help me sew up those extra little seams on Friday night. And then I accidentally forgot to flip my pieces inside out before sewing, and so all the raw edges were showing on my bag. And so it was not good at all. So my mom had to help me seam rip the whole thing and take apart the lining from the exterior so that the next day I could flip it the inside out and sew it properly. Because I didn't realize till I did like 3 or 4 different seams, and so it was a lot. But I'm very grateful she helped me with that, and it really looks so much better. So Saturday I had an appointment booked at the George Latimer Library. Westcott in Eagan has a better machine in my opinion because it has a slow setting, but I think it's a Janome machine, and the one at George Latimer is a Singer, but the one at Latimer doesn't have a slow setting. And just a reminder, Latimer's the one in downtown St. Paul, the library. Anyways, the appointment week starts over on Saturdays at Latimer, so I could book an appointment again on Saturday, and I didn't have to go out to Egan because Egan gives you unlimited appointments a week, but Latimer one a week. Um, the I showed up on Saturday. There was a sign on the door. Sorry, we're closed. The power went out. So I ended up having to book an appointment in Egan anyways, which was kind of annoying, but I was grateful to have this low setting on the machine anyways. So yeah. But anyways, super proud of this bag. Think it turned out really well. And yeah, and my hardware is all brass. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you where my hardware came from. This was a handbag hardware kit, the D-rings, the rivets on my shoulder straps, the magnetic snap, the bag feet, all came in the same hardware kit. Um, and it is from Sage Luxury, which I believe is made by Offhand Designs. A company called Offhand Designs has a line of handbags called Sage Luxury, and they have handbag hardware kits in case you want to make your own bags. And Stephen B in Minneapolis happened to have one in their clearance section. Not sure how they procured it or why they have it. All I know is it was $52 on clearance. So I paid $52 for my hardware kit. Not my proudest moment, but worth it. And then, excuse me, the key ring for my keys. Michaels had on clearance some beaded bracelets that were actually keychains. But they were like those like silicone beads, and they were some really cute ones. I'd been looking at those for a while now, just for the beads. But I finally got them because I'm like, oh, I can use the key ring off of it to put my apartment keys in there, and then I don't have to use the big giant bulky clippy thing from the hardware kit because that was designed for making the shoulder strap removable, and so that was big and bulky and weird, and so this is more compact and works better. It's not the exact same color because this is kind of a gold color, whereas my hardware is all brass, but it still works pretty well. And so, yeah, I could not be happier with this bag. I am so pleased that I finally have my dream knitting bag. It's big enough to hold a sweater project, and I've got matching notions bag, and I've got a spot to put all my things. I am so, so happy. And next summer will probably be when I get to sew again, just because school year crazy. But next summer, I'm hoping to be able to get more into apparel, hopefully, because I think that that will be mostly what I make is apparel, because I can only have so many bags. Um, Bags aren't usually a thing I'll make. I just really wanted a knitting bag, so that was my big project this summer, other than the pillow you saw me show you in a couple episodes ago. Yeah. Alright, let's move on to acquisitions real quick. I do have two acquisitions. They're both fabric acquisitions. I don't have the fabric with me. It's at home because I don't need it here at college. But I took photos of it knowing that I didn't have time to film before coming. Because I was planning to film one more episode at home. But my fabric acquisitions, the first one is I went to my local thrift store, Flying Pig Thrift in St. Paul, Minnesota. Also, I got this top the same day that I was there. Has batwing sleeves. It's super awesome. And I don't have very many green tops in my wardrobe, so yeah. And it's got like velvety leopard print on it. I love it. I got it for $1. Um, but anyways, when I was at Flying Pig Thrift, and I'll pop a photo on the screen, they had 2/3 of a yard of, I think it was like a quilting cotton sort of texture, of this watermelon seed fabric. I am absolutely obsessed with watermelon things. My big passion is zebra, but watermelon is a close second passion, and I had to have it. And there is a free pattern on Yarnspirations, because Yarnspirations bought out Coats and Clark several years ago, and so all the Coats and Clark things are on Yarnspirations. There's a free pattern for a watermelon wedge placemat, and the pattern makes 2 placemats, and that's probably about what I have for fabric anyways. I have to procure the other fabrics for that project, but I will pop a photo of that on the screen as well. But the salvage edge of the fabric does say what brand it is, and so I looked it up, and it says what year it's from. The fabric, I think, is from 2017. There's a couple sellers on Etsy that have more of that same exact fabric, so I might get more of it at some point so that I can make a set of 5 or 6 placemats, 4 to 6 placemats, I think, because I think that would be like better than just 2. So that is the plan. And then I'm going to... Oh, and apologies for the background noise. My other roommates just got back from their classes. But my train of thought derailed. Yeah, so that's my plan with the watermelon fabric. And then while I was at the Westcott Library in Eagan, they had this apparel fabric that I'm absolutely obsessed with. And I will put a photo of that on the screen. It is very 70s and 80s vibes. And it's neon and crazy geometric, so I'm going to make this top out of that. That is a 1980s simplicity pattern. Multiple sellers on eBay and Etsy have a copy for sale, so I should be able to get a copy of the pattern. I think the pattern's from 1981, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, I will be making the top that is in the photo that the lady is wearing, not any of the drawings, the other versions. It's the keyhole one with the button and the collar. So I'll be doing that out of that. So, yeah, I haven't procured the pattern yet because I'm not ready to work with stretch knit fabric, but I might have to procure the pattern soon in case they all sell. But that is the last thing I have to share with you. So now I'm Andrew. Thank you for checking in here at the Neon Knitter, and I will see you in my next video.